It's a rivalry that dates back all the way to 1914 as Western Kentucky makes the trip from Bowling Green to Murfreesboro to take on their arch rival in Middle Tennessee. Welcome inside Floyd Stadium here on the campus of Middle Tennessee, where it is homecoming as the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers come to town to wreck the parade against their arch rival, Middle Tennessee. What is going on, everybody? Alongside Jeremy Kellum and Abigail Martin, I'm Jake Rose. Thank you for joining us here on this October Saturday afternoon in the Mid-State, and it is 100 Miles of Hate, the 72nd edition of the longest-running rivalry in Conference USA. And Jeremy, you've been a part of this game a few times. What does it mean to play in this ballgame?
And this game means a lot. It's bigger than you as a player, bigger than the team. It's about both communities, both schools, WKU and MTSU. You want to win. You want to win for bragging rights. You want to win for recruiting. You have a blood donation competition which benefits many people, but it just means a lot, and it's very important to you as a player wanting to win this game and this rivalry.
And for more on this rivalry, let's send it down to Abigail Martin.
Hey guys, my good friend Noah Brady talked with Coach Helton back in August, and you know what he had to say? He is so excited that the conference has remained aligned for these to remain in Conference USA to continue the 100 Miles of Hate, and they're looking to rain on the parade, the homecoming parade that is. They're so excited to see the competitive level of both of these teams tonight. Back to you guys.
Trying to right the ship a little bit, both coming in to this game with 3-3 records, but both have also lost their last couple of ball games.
Yes, I think as both teams want to get off that losing snide, Coach Helton talked about just how important this game is. Yes, it's another game on the schedule, but it is a rivalry game, and you understand that for them, they can't afford to have a second loss in the conference. And if you're MTSU and Coach Stockstill, you already have 2 losses and really can't afford a third if you want to get in that conference championship game at the end of this season.
Middle Tennessee coming off a road loss against UAB last week. Western Kentucky looking to bounce back after a close one against UTSA on the road. And we are underway here at Floyd Stadium. Middle will let it bounce, and they will take over at their own 25 to get things started here in the Borough.
When you're MTSU, Coach Stocks talked about it all week long that they want to start fast. Last 2 games, they fell behind 14-0. Then last week against UAB, 21-0. And Chase just talked about, hey, we have to finish drive. They've been moving the ball. And so now we're going to see on this first drive, can they get points on this first drive against WKU's defense?
Chase Cunningham, the red shirt senior, running the show for this Middle Tennessee offense. First time he's actually ever played in this rivalry game. First pass across the middle is to Yusuf Ali, who refuses to go down, but is finally wrapped up just shy of the 30-yard line. And Jeremy, opening drives have been a big problem for Middle Tennessee's offense so far this season. 0 points on game opening drives, only 6 first downs.
And that's very disappointing if you're Coach Stock, because you know you prepare all week and you want to see it pay off in the first drive.
There's a first down on the far sideline. Bud Silver making the catch, his first catch tonight.
So far, 2 completions by Chase, and the second one resulting in the first down.
And this is a Middle Tennessee offense that will move very quickly as Frank Peasant will get his first carry on the afternoon. And that tempo that Middle Tennessee has on offense is something that Coach Tyson Helton for Western Kentucky is a little worried about with his defense.
Yes, he said that this is the fastest team they've played all season long. You know that means a lot because they run an up-tempo style on their offense as well.
Cunningham off his back foot, just throws it away. Pressure coming from Jaquez Evans off that right side.
And already you can see Coach Summers, the D coordinator for WKU, is dialing up pressure. His mentality is an attacking defense. They're going to either get a stop fast or they're going to give up a score fast, but their mentality is to get the ball back to their high-powered offense.
So the first third down situation for Middle right here on their opening drive, currently 7th best. in the 11-team Conference USA, and third down conversions just 38% for the Blue Raiders. Cunningham taking a shot near sideline, throwing into traffic. And a couple of chrome helmets were in there on defense.
And you spoke about that stat of not scoring on the first drive, and that continues this game. This is not what Coach Scott wanted to see. He wanted to see a long drive, at least resulting in a field goal. But now you get stopped. You got a first down, but now you have to punt it to the high-powered offense led by Austin Reed, which we'll see in a few minutes here.
Khalif Halassi and Rome Weber in on the coverage for Western Kentucky as Kyle Olbrich is out to punt. And Middle Tennessee's opening drive woes continue, as this one is, we called for, a fair catch by Jalen Hall. And Western Kentucky will take over about their own 15-yard line.
Fair catch by Jalen Hall. It'll be first down and 10.
So there's a look at Austin Reed, the Division II transfer from Western Florida. And he is picking up right where Bailey Zappi in that record-setting offense from Western Kentucky a year ago.
And Coach Helton said when we talked to him this week, he knew that Austin Reed was the guy. First day of spring practice, he came in new to the offense and just executed it flawlessly.
Number one in the conference in passing touchdowns, attempts, quarterback rating, and completion percentage. That ball is loose and picked up by middle. Teldrick Ross.
Here's the ball on the play.
And if you're Coach Schaefer for MTSU's defense, you're excited because that's what you want your defense to do, to come out and get a stop after your offense doesn't score on their first drive. You come out on the first play and get a turnover, setting up your offense in great position. And Teldrick Ross has been making plays all year, just all over the defensive backfield, and right there coming up with a great fumble recovery, setting up MTSU.
13th turnover for Middle Tennessee, second best in the conference, and now Middle is sitting pretty on their second drive, already inside the red zone. Low snap, Cunningham's got to keep it. Around the left side, gonna turn it up, touchdown.
And that's what's so great about having an athletic quarterback, because when you are wrong or when things go wrong in the play, then you can make him right with his legs, and that's what Chase did. Bobbled the snap, but still followed his pulling guard, his pulling tackle to the end zone. And what a phenomenal job by MTSU's offense, being able to get on the board with that touchdown run.
14-yard touchdown run by Chase Cunningham, his third rushing touchdown on the season, as Zeke Rankin will come out for the point after. Another low snap, and this one sneaks through the upright and middle, making the most of the opportunity on the Kai Robichai fumble. And Chase Cunningham taking it 14 yards to pay dirt. Middle Tennessee, and Jeremy, this is the fast start that we were talking about that Middle Tennessee desperately needed.
Coach Stott talked about it all week long in press conferences that, hey, we have to get off to a fast start. And yes, he was talking about on offense, but he also talked about on defense how against Colorado State, big play Trey Fluellen was able to get a pick six to start the momentum. And now you see Teldrick Ross get a fumble recovery, and now Chase Cunningham running in, and now you're up 7-0 real fast with a great start.
Short kickoff fielded at the 11. Looking for a seam around the right side, and finally dropped about the 36-yard line is Michael Matheson, transfer from Akron. So Western Kentucky will get another crack at it here on their second possession.
And we talked about how Coach Helton, he really doesn't like running the football. He says that only time he really wants to run it is based on having light boxes, meaning having maybe the 6-man, 5-man box. And when you fumble on the first run play, you're probably going to stick to the passing game. So we'll see.
Reed out of the gun. Reed play right side. And that's going to be the tight end, Joshua Simon. Preseason All-Conference USA pick coming into this year. Only played one game a season ago.
And that's what you will see a lot in this game with Coach Helton and Austin Reed, the offense, is that they supplement their run game with the utilization of quick screen passes. And right there, a screen pass on first down goes for 9 yards, setting you up with a 2nd and 1. So great play call.
When we talk about Middle Tennessee's offensive tempo, typically this is a Western Kentucky offense that wants to get out and run as well, as here comes the blitz. That ball tipped at the line. Reed looking for Simon again. This one's going to bring up 3rd and 1.
And it looks like Trey Llewellyn was on a blitz that Coach Schaefer dialed up, another attacking style defensive coordinator, and was able to potentially get his hand up on that right there, running the stunt with the DN. And Trey, like they teach you, hey, if you can't get home to the quarterback, get your hands up, and that's what big play Trey did right there.
Western hurries to the line. Now Reed under center on 3rd and 1. He's going to keep it himself and get a push from the backfield. And let's see where they spot him. Have yet to see a signal from any of the officials. First down.
And Austin Reed was talking this week as well. They don't call a lot of design QB runs.
It is first down at the 47-yard line for WKU.
And Austin Reed probably not going under center very often. But it's a first down for Western Kentucky. Near midfield. High snap. And Reed's going to put this one in the turf, looking for Matheson.
Aside from that screen pass, the first 2 passes haven't seemed to be as accurate as we have been expecting, or we've grown accustomed to seeing out of Austin Reed over the past 2 games. So we'll keep a lookout on that as the game progresses.
It'll be interesting to see how this Middle Tennessee defense attacks that Western Kentucky offensive line. Starting left tackle Mark Good has been ruled out of this game, so that moves Gunnar Britton, the right tackle, over to the left side. Reed on 2nd and 10. In trouble, throwing across the middle. Was looking for Jalen Hall. But big 57 Marley Cook breaking through the middle, putting pressure on Reed. It's now 3rd and 10.
And Coach Helton talked about some of the things that concern him as you see Marley Cook get in there with the pressure. That he said that this is one of the first teams that they played all year that can generate pressure with their front 4. So not only can they dial it up schematically, but they can get home just with their front 4. And you see right there Marley Cook getting pressure and causing an error on the throw by Austin Reed.
So 3rd down and long for Western Kentucky. Reed looking deep and overshoots his target, looking for Jalen Hall yet again. And Middle Tennessee's defense has been stout on the first 2 opening drives against a very high-powered Western Kentucky offense.
And Coach Stock said that the key to winning this game or to stopping WKU's offense is to keep everything in front of you. And on these first 2 drives, they have not given up anything behind them. And so far, so good for MTSU and Coach Stock's team.
The Aussie, Tom Ellard, out to punt for Western Kentucky. Puts his left boot into it, as Jalen Lane will call for a fair catch back at the Middle Tennessee 10.
And so now MTSU has an opportunity to go up 2 scores. The last 2 weeks, like we said, falling behind 21-0, 14-0, and they know how it feels and what that does to you and your mentality. And so now, can MTSU go up by 2 scores and put pressure on Austin Reed and WKU to try to keep up with them?
Yeah, and this is a Middle Tennessee offense that has proven that they can put up points, averaging 42.5 points per contest in their 3 wins, but in their 3 losses, just 17 points per game, as Cunningham to throw on first down, and out of the backfield is Joe Irvin, but not able to go anywhere, maybe back to the line of scrimmage, as he's brought down by a whole host of Hilltoppers on defense, led by number 9, Dominique Bradshaw.
This week, Jordan Ferguson, DN, said that Coach Stott been telling the team this is an identity game. We have to figure out who are we going to be from week to week. And so we will see as this game goes.
Empty backfield for Cunningham on 2nd and 11. Quick pass far side, and it's Bud Tolbert, and he's hit right away by Talik Allen.
And you see Chase Cunningham utilizing the screen game to supplement the run game. Quick passes to the outside receivers to try to get some yards. And now you set up the 3rd and medium. And so this is a big play right here for MTSU and WKU defense.
4 wide to the near side of the field for Middle Tennessee, as Irvin is the man in motion. Here comes the blitz from Western. Quick pass to Ali, near side. Tries to turn it up, but he's going to be short of a first down. Jaquez Evans in on the stop for Western.
That was a great job by Jaquez Evans along with the WKU defense, being able to not just wrap up, but be able to drive back, because at first it looked like Yusuf Ali was going to have enough momentum to carry him over, but WKU was able to come up with a stop and be able to force a punt right here.
And this Middle Tennessee offense moves so quickly, but it also kind of leads to really, really quick possessions if they're not moving the ball. As this kick will be fielded at the 44-yard line. And that's where Western Kentucky will take over for their 3rd possession with 9:26 to go in the first. Middle Tennessee, Western Kentucky, 100 miles of hate. Stay with us on ESPN Plus. Welcome back to Floyd Stadium, where it is homecoming here in Murfreesboro. There's the President, Dr. Sidney A. McPhee. And Lightning, the Blue Raider mascot, in float form. First play right side. Going to pick up about 5 on the run is Kai Robichaux, leading runner for this Western Kentucky offense. The only running back with a carry last week against UTSA for what is usually a 3-headed monster backfield for Western Kentucky, as another quick pass to the far side finds Dawood Davis, the leading receiver for Western Kentucky.
And Coach Helton talked about how the box dictates if they run. And so they run out of 11 personnel, 10 personnel, meaning that you have 1 back, or you have 1 back and 1 tight end, or 1 back and 4 receivers. And so they really don't like running the ball. And as you see, they're using a screen game to really supplement the run game, to get out on the edges, to try to create one-on-one matchup.
And just like that, it's already 3rd down for Western Kentucky. Both teams not using a lot of clock on their drives, as handoff up the middle is going to be good enough for a first down, as Western Kentucky is in Blue Raider territory for the first time this afternoon on the Robichaux first down run. Quick snap to Reed, pump fake, steps up in the pocket, going to take off. And he's going to fall forward after a pickup of about 7.
And I know we might have not seen it depending on the camera angle, but when you start to go fast, now the defense has to figure out where you lined up. At the bottom of the screen, you had 2 receivers, only 1 MTSU defender, and Austin Reed. Great job by MTSU being able to cover, but great job by Austin Reed realizing, hey, I have legs, I am mobile, and I can pick up a first down.
Fans here at Floyd Stadium breaking out the umbrellas and ponchos. The rain has been on and off all afternoon after what was a beautiful morning on homecoming Saturday. First pass caught by Joey Beljean. Good enough for a first down for Western.
And you talked about just in both cases with the offenses not using a lot of time on their drives, whether they score or whether they end up having to punt the ball. And I think as the game goes, it ends up hurting your defense at times because they're not getting a lot of rest. They're on the field for 60, 70, 80 plays per game.
1st and 10 for Western. Reed near sideline, and turning it up after the catch is Malachi Corley.
And that's about 3 to 4 out routes. So I think Coach Helton and Austin Reed, they see something right now that their slot receivers are being covered by inside leverage defenders. So all they're doing is just running quick out routes and picking up 5 yards a pop, which makes it easy or sets up a manageable second down.
And Austin Reed certainly has options when it comes to receivers. 4 different receivers with at least 24 catches so far this season. And he's already spreading it around pretty well here in the first quarter. He's going to keep it on the Reed, try and turn it up, but he's going to be short of the first down by a couple of yards as Jalen Rayam, who is in for the injured Raekwon Hartley, that outside linebacker spot for Middle Tennessee, makes the stop.
And so this is a big third down. Coach Helton may be thinking that it's 2-down territory. So I'm interested in seeing what play.
Western's 2 for 3 on third down so far this afternoon.
Come out 11 personnel.
Reed to throw and batted away. Teldrick Ross got his hand in there as Reed was trying to find Daywood Davis, and that was right at the sticks. I'm not sure if it was actually going to be good enough for a first down, but already 4th down, and looks like the offense is going to stay on the field for Western Kentucky. And Jeremy, when we talked to Tyson Helton earlier in the week, he says, hey, you can't be afraid to go for it on 4th down sometimes.
Yes, he talked about going against UTSA. He knew they're going against a high-powered offense that settling for field goals or punting is not going to get it. And right now he's feeling that same type of pressure that he has to get points going against MTSU, already down 7-0.
4th and 3, Reed to throw in the pocket, taking a shot towards the end zone, and he overshoots Malachi Corley, and Middle Tennessee will take over on downs with 5:46 left in the first.
Great job by Dedrick Stanley, running stride for stride with the WKU receiver, being able to be in position and ensuring that the ball was not complete, and turnover on downs, like you said.
5:46 to go here in the first quarter. Middle Tennessee on top of Western Kentucky 7-0. Western Kentucky turned it over on downs on their last drive. But Jeremy, that was the first drive of the afternoon so far that's taken longer than 2 minutes.
That's amazing, man. Just because you grow up watching football and it's all about let's bleed the clock, let's run the ball, let's consume the clock, but not in today's game. Both teams want to score fast, and they want to get off the field fast to get the offense back the ball.
Yeah, we're already on the 7th drive of this game. Not even 10 minutes through the game clock as Cunningham is going to throw on first down, taking a shot deep as flags are out. Who's looking for Isaiah Gathings. As we will check in with our referee, Kevin Vicknair, for the first time this afternoon.
Defense, 15-yard penalty for the previous spot. Automatic first down.
That's the redshirt junior from Miami, A.J. Brathwaite, playing in just his 3rd game this year.
You know, being a former DB, I'm a fan of the DB, but you know, you can't get too handsy out there, especially when the ball is in the air. There's going to be a PI every time.
Peason in the backfield behind Cunningham, takes the handoff and gets a couple running right into that front seven of Western Kentucky.
And we've seen Peason early on this year that he has the ability to run in between the tackles, but he has the breakaway speed as well. And I think that something about MTSU is that they're trying to establish the run, and they want to be able to be more balanced to catch WKU off balance with a play action pass or so.
2nd and 7. Here comes the blitz from the edge, and Peason hangs on to it, but no gain. And coming off from that corner spot was Khalif Halassi, and he was shot out of a cannon on that one.
Yes, he was, and I don't know if we could get the reaction of Chase Cunningham, because on that mesh point when Chase is handing it off to Frank Peason, he has the option right here to give or keep it, and right there Chase was expecting to keep it because he knew if the DN commits, I hold on to the ball, and if he would have held on to the ball, he might still be running right there. So hopefully, or for MTSU's sake, that they can get that set up for the next time they run it and be more effective on that play.
That's Caleb Oliver, the Hilltopper, shaking up on the play as we've got a timeout on the field with 4:52 here in the first. Both Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky coming into this matchup, both 3-3. Middle Tennessee looking for their first conference win, 0-2 in Conference USA play so far this season. Western Kentucky 1-1. Lost to UTSA last week. And it's 3rd down and 9 for Middle. Cunningham to throw. Here comes the pressure. Cunningham towards the sideline, just getting rid of it, as big number 0, Lorenzo Hernandez, was putting the pressure on Cunningham.
Yes, and those are not positions that Coach Stock wants to be in. A Coach Stewart, the offensive coordinator, they don't just want to be in typical traditional passing downs. They want to be in positions where it's like a 3rd and 3, where you don't know if we're going to pass, we're going to throw, and we can do play action, or we could do a RPO option. But when you have 4th and long like that, you know, WKU pinned their ears back and just came after them on that one.
Ulbrich out to punt. Good kick inside the 10. Fielded by Jalen Hall. Turns it upfield and finally brought down at the 30-yard line. So a nice return by Jalen Hall. Transfer from Western Michigan.
That was a phenomenal return, because if he doesn't catch that, maybe Ulbrich pins them back deep. But now you give Austin Reed and your offense that's been struggling great starting field position when it could have been a disaster for them. So great job by Jalen Hall on that one.
Now Jalen Hall in his first year in Bowling Green, 5 years in Western Michigan. Caught 14 touchdowns his time as a Bronco. Quick pass to Simon, and a nice tackle by Trey Fluellen. Pickup of maybe a yard.
And that's one skill that you must have as a safety. You have to have the ability to perform or complete an open field tackle, and that's what Trey Fluellen did on that play right there, being able to take an inside-out angle and being able to cut the receiver down at the legs and come up with a stop.
So 2nd down and 9, empty set for Austin Reed as he checks with the sideline. Reed, quick throw, and nothing doing on that one. Looks like Dedrick Stanley was right there, right behind Malachi Corley. And Austin Reed off to an uncharacteristically slow start, just 5 of 11 for Austin Reed, one of the best throwers in college football this year.
And that was a great read by Dedrick Stanley. When you are in empty as a quarterback with no running back by you, then the 3-step is just a catch and throw. And Dedrick Stanley was able to read the 3-step and almost came up with a pick 6.
3rd and 9. Reed, ball's tipped at the line of scrimmage, and another stand by this Middle Tennessee defense, and another very, very quick drive from this Western Kentucky offense.
And we talk about Coach West, the D-line coach, teaching his D-line, if you cannot get home, put your hands up, and they get another deflected ball right there, coming up with a great play by Jordan Starling, being able to force a WKU punt.
The redshirt junior from Chattanooga, his 5th season here in Murfreesboro, knocking that ball down as Tom Ellard is back to punt for Western. High spiraling kick. Jalen Lane picks it up over his shoulder and is lassoed down at the 20-yard line. Great tackle by Williams, Davion Williams, the defensive back from Belleville, Michigan.
That was a great play by Williams right there as a gunner, being able to defeat the defender, get down, and being able to get Jalen Lane down before he got going.
Davion Williams, one of 40 transfers on this Western Kentucky roster. 20 transfers this year alone, and you talked about it earlier. Coach Helton not afraid to tap into that transfer portal. In fact, he loves it. Cunningham on first down. Gonna tuck it. Looking for a little bit of room. And we'll scamper out of bounds at about the 23-24-yard line.
And speaking of that, Coach Helton almost seems like the transfer portal is the best thing since sliced bread. He says that it's a way to flip your whole roster in 1 year, and that it eliminates the excuse of, hey, we don't have this player, we don't have that player, that you can go get that top safety or you go get that top quarterback like he has in the last 2 years to be able to change the identity of your team.
Quick pass near side to Jalen Lane, and he is smacked right as soon as he catches it. Khalif Halassi. As a couple of players need to be separated near the Middle Tennessee sideline.
What a great play by Khalif Halassi right there. Being able to defeat the blocker in front of him and then being able to come up and secure and get a great form tackle, setting up a 3rd and long, which is not where MTSU wants to be.
Middle 0 for 3 on 3rd down so far this afternoon. 3rd and 9. Irvin out of the backfield. Cunningham finds a man across the middle, but flags are down. Found Yusuf Ali, which looks like it'll be good enough for a first down, but let's check the flag down back about the 13-yard line.
Anytime you see the quarterback scrambling, then you see flags towards the backfield, you kind of...
Holding, number 64. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, hands to the face. Number 70, half the distance to the goal. Repeat, 3rd down.
So that's Jaquie Graham and Tyler Falvey of the Middle Tennessee offensive line.
And right now, MTSU is keeping WKU in the game. Austin Reed not playing as well on the offensive side for WKU, but MTSU not taking advantage of it right now.
3rd and 20, handoff to Irvin around the left side. Stiff arms out of one tackle and is going to be brought down about the 14-yard line as, again, players needing to be separated. Looked like a bunch of equipment was flying everywhere.
Yeah, I've seen a
Not
couple
sure if that was the chrome from
there.
the helmet or mouthpieces, but one Hilltopper lost a helmet, and it's already getting chippy here in the first quarter between these two rivals.
And it's not the 100 miles of hate for no reason, right? Both teams, many of the players recruited by both schools, and so probably competed against each other in high school. So the rivalry is real on the field.
So another punt for Kyle Olbrich. Fourth punt for Olbrich here in the first quarter, as Hall will call for the fair catch at about the 37-yard line And that's where Western Kentucky will take over for their 5th drive. With 1:21 left here in the first quarter, neither offense able to really do much of anything. Just 78 total yards of offense between these two teams, which is quite surprising given the fact that Western Kentucky is the #1 offense in the conference and one of the top offenses in the entire nation.
And last 2 games, they haven't even scored over 30. And you contribute that to the opponents. And coming into this game, MTSU being able to be effective, just like UTSA was against WKU last week.
Reed taking a shot on 1st and 10, and Dawood Davis couldn't bring it home as Teldrick Ross was in on the coverage.
And I got to say, that had to be the best ball so far by Austin Reed, dropping it right there in the bread basket to Dawood Davis. Unfortunately for WKU, did not come with the pass, but great job by Teldrick Ross being there to frustrate Dawood as he's running and trying to focus on the ball, forcing the pass to come up incomplete right there.
Davis, one of the more dangerous receivers in the conference. Top 5 in receptions, yards, and touchdowns so far this season. Play action across the middle. He goes to Jalen Hall, and that's the best pickup on the afternoon so far for the Western Kentucky Hilltopper offense. 1st down. Western working quickly. Reed across the middle, and that's going to be good enough for a 1st down. That's Malachi Corley. And now this Western Kentucky offense starting to find a rhythm here.
And it was the tempo that created that completion.
Reed. Now back to Hall behind the line of scrimmage. And Hall still on his feet, finally falls inside the 10. So a read option from Austin Reed, and then a lateral behind the line of scrimmage to the wide receiver, Jalen Hall. Wow.
And this is the tempo that WKU and Coach Helton wants, because when you're going fast, it doesn't allow the defense to set up where they're going. And then once they do get it lined up, now the defense has to process what's going on to be able to react to what WKU is doing. And right now, WKU is being real effective right now and efficient with their offense.
Pick up of 14 yards for Hall as Robichaux up the middle inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line. And this Western Kentucky offense is all gas right now, as that'll wrap up the first quarter with Middle Tennessee hanging on to a 7-point lead thanks to the touchdown run from Chase Cunningham off the fumble. But Western Kentucky is knocking on the door. 2nd quarter coming up.
Everyone, I hope you were paying attention pregame and you saw the beautiful walking horse, the one and only Mr. True Blue. I'm down here with the Jacobs family and Mr. Spencer. I have to ask you, what is the legacy like for your family? You have a long history keeping walking horses in the family, and now you have Mr. True Blue out on the field.
Well, we was lucky enough to purchase him about 2 years ago. We put him back in training with Mr. Spencer Benedict. He's been an exception animal the whole time. He's the 4-year-old world grand champion. And then our daughter was what really got us started back into the horse business. She's come along really good with her riding, and she's the equitation world champion at the time now.
That's amazing. And how did you get onto the name Mr. True Blue? I know it has something to do with the Miss Amanda right next to you.
Oh, yeah. My wife went to school here. She played basketball for MTSU, and it was just kind of the right thing to do. She wanted to name the horse Mr. True Blue after here, so that's kind of where it come from.
Mr. True Blue staying right here at MTSU. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And Austin Reed finds Malachi Corley for the score. That is the 6th touchdown reception for Malachi Corley. That is the best in Conference USA, as Braden Narveson is out to add the extra point. And he sends it on through.
And Austin Reed and WKU got going on that drive, being able to keep the up-tempo pace going, catching MTSU out of position, out of alignment. And I look to see Coach Helton and the offense continuing to go up-tempo and continuing to hit the screen passes and then going deep to catch MTSU off guard. And so we can see if Chase Cunningham and the offense can respond to that score on this next drive.
And we talk about how these offenses like to move quickly. They're up tempo. Western Kentucky 6 plays, 62 yards, a minute 25 on that last drive. Now, when they do score, their scoring drives average 6.5 plays, 2 minutes and 17 seconds. That's their average. So this Western Kentucky team moves lightning quick when they're in a rhythm, and they were definitely in a rhythm on that last drive as they have tied things up here at 7. Corey Munson will send it away towards Jalen Lane. Lane finds some space. Flag is out as Lane will finally be brought down about the 42-yard line. The always dangerous Jalen Lane, All-American preseason selection as a punt returner. But let's check in on the flag.
Number 38, receiving team, 10-yard penalty for the spousal foul. First down, Middle Tennessee.
And speaking of Jalen Lane, if he was on a fantasy team or playing fantasy football, I would have him on my team. These last 3 games, 582 all-purpose yards, half of 1,000 yards just in the last 3 games. And so he's a playmaker, and I know that Coach Stock wants to get him involved on this drive to be able to go down here and get some points on the board to regain the lead.
4 wide for Middle. Single back. Read play. It's Peasant and nowhere to go. Wrapped up by Caleb Oliver coming up from that strong safety spot. Had a career high 8 tackles last week in the loss against UTSA, did Oliver. One of the many different safeties and defensive backs that will be churned in and out of this Western Kentucky defense here today. And Cunningham's just going to have to get rid of it.
And Coach Summers and WKU's defense runs a 3-3-5, which allows you to have an extra defensive back at a nickel back. So like you said, having multiple defensive backs on the field, having more athletes on the field. An athlete, the nickel back, has to be able to tackle, has to be able to blitz, but also has to have the ability to cover. And it allows your defense to be more versatile when you run a 3-3-5.
And here we are at 3rd and long again for Middle Tennessee. Looking to pick up their first down of the ball game. Peasant in the backfield. Cunningham to throw, has time. Cunningham going to keep it and walk out of bounds after a pickup of about 6, but it's now 4th down again for Middle Tennessee. And Kyle Olbrich has been the busiest guy dressed in blue this afternoon.
Yes, he has, and MTSU's offense is not helping itself. They don't do well so far this game in 3rd and longs because they're not traditional drop back teams. And so Coach Summers on WKU realizes that, and so he's just dropping back in zone and just sitting back and forcing Chase Cunningham to try to dissect the defense. And so far on 3rd and longs, Chase has not been able to do that.
5th punt on the afternoon for Olbrich, Middle Tennessee's career leader in punt average. Already 181 yards of total punts. And this is going to help that average as it's bobbled by Hall, but then wisely falls on it inside the 20. The second punt from Olbrich to land inside the 20 as we're going to take a break with 13:20 to go here in the half. We're all tied up at 7 with 100 miles of hate. There's a look at Floyd Stadium here on the campus of Middle Tennessee State University. Reese Smith Jr. Field there in the foreground, and there's the band of blue as the sun's back out. It's been raining on and off all afternoon, but I think we should be okay the rest of the afternoon as Western Kentucky will take over on their own 18-yard line. Scoring their first touchdown of the afternoon on their last drive. As here's the handoff up the middle and going nowhere.
And MTSU's
Davion Irvin Poindexter.
Run defense has been very stout this game, not giving up much yards in the run game. It's a great job of Coach Schaefer and their front 7.
Yeah, that's a Middle Tennessee defense that has really struggled the last couple of weeks stopping the run, as Reed is going to throw on second down, checks down to Irvin Poindexter, and he's going to be close to a first down, but maybe about a yard short. The transfer from Indiana.
And this is a huge third down right now. MTSU has to get off the field right here to get the ball back to their offense, because WKU last drive, we see them drive right down the field and score. So you want to try to stop momentum or meet momentum with momentum to be able to put it back on your side if you're MTSU.
Single back in the backfield. Handoff up the middle. I don't think he got it. That's Irvin Poindexter on the carry. And it's going to be 4th and short. So a great stop by this Middle Tennessee defense, as I said, has really struggled to stop the run as of late. 470 yards and 8 touchdowns they've given up on the ground the last 2 weeks, but they have been stout here this afternoon against Western Kentucky, as Ellard is back to punt yet again. So the punter's getting a lot of action here in the first half here in this one. High kick. Lane coming in and making the catch at about the 34-yard line. So now Chase Cunningham and the Middle Tennessee offense will try and figure it out with 11:19 to go here in the second quarter. And Jeremy, this Middle Tennessee offense, they've got the 7 points, but it came from a fortunate turnover in Western Kentucky territory. But they have only averaged 2.6 yards per play here in the first half.
That's not going to get it if you're MTSU's offense. You have to be more effective, more efficient. And I know Coach Stock is preaching that and wanting to see that on this drive right here.
Toss right to Peasant. He'll pick up about 5.
The toss to number 36, Frank Peasant.
Peasant, the sophomore from Pensacola, Florida, the leading rusher for this Middle Tennessee squad.
I think if you're MTSU, you want to avoid 3rd and longs. You have to come up with 3rd and manageable, 3rd and 3s to give yourself an opportunity to keep all your plays.
Check down to Peasant as a flag is down. And Peasant will pick up the first down, but let's check out the flag. As this one looks like it's going to move Middle Tennessee back.
Repeat, second down.
That's Sterling Porche, starting left tackle for Middle. 3rd penalty against Middle Tennessee tonight.
And so when we talk about getting in the 3rd and manageable, 3rd and shorts, getting penalties just only pushes you behind even more on the sticks.
Cunningham on the keeper, and he'll just get past the line of scrimmage as Ethan Ellis loses his lid. Jaden Hunter making the stop. Leading returning tackler for Western Kentucky this season. Had 67 tackles a year ago for the Hilltoppers, 19 here this year. And another 3rd and long for Middle. Cunningham back to Peasant, and he's going to be wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage and surrounded by a half-dozen chrome helmets. And the woes for Middle Tennessee's offense continue. Mike Allen leading the charge for the Toppers on that last play. So here comes Kyle Olbrich, Ray Guy Award candidate, getting a workout in here against Western. Now Frank Peasant running in from the sideline as
Timeout. Middle Tennessee. This is their first of the half. Timeout on the field.
So, Middle will take a timeout, and we will step aside. All tied up at 7. .9:31 to go in the first half. Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky tied up at 7. Middle Tennessee's offense has gone completely stagnant here in the first quarter. Just 50 yards, or first half I should say, 50 yards of total offense for the Blue Raiders as Kyle Olbrich is out to punt yet again. His 6th punt on the afternoon. And this one is another good one. And Hall's going to let this one bounce and roll all the way into the end zone. Close.
And so far, when you're looking at this game, it's really coming down to punting, field position, and turnovers. MTSU is in the game tied because of a turnover. And WKU, they haven't caused or forced a turnover, but they're doing very good stopping MTSU's offense, putting them back in 3rd and long. So we're going to see, can MTSU force another turnover to set up a short field for Chase and the offense to see if they can regain the lead, or will Austin Reed get back to the high-tempo offense and regain the lead for them, or take the lead for the first time?
Austin Reed, 9 of 18, 73 yards and a touchdown. To Malachi Corley, first play of the second quarter. And this one is going to be Robichaux out of the backfield, plowing through the Middle Tennessee defender DeCorian Patterson on that far sideline, pickup of about 8 or 9.
And one thing, just studying WKU coming to this game, I realized that they like to send a lot of guys in motion on this. They send the back into motion. You already have 3 receivers to the left, and they're just basically blockers or kind of offensive linemen out there as you run a toss sweep to a receiver. So just very unique by Coach Helton being able to symbolize the run game in their screen passing game as well.
Called 2nd down and 3. Robichaux up the middle, moving the pile. A first down and more on the best run for Robichaux on the evening.
And if WKU can run the ball like that, it's going to make their passing game that much more dangerous.
Western working quickly. Reed having to get rid of it back to Robichaux, who's touched it on every possession or every play so far this possession for Western Kentucky, as Jordan Ferguson was trying to break through.
Yes, great pressure right there by Jordan Ferguson, and then great effort right here, pursuit by MTSU to be able to hold him to a no gain right there.
2nd down and 10. Reed with an empty backfield for Western. Reed on the draw, looking for a lead blocker and going to fall forward close to a first down. Let's see where he's marked at. Looks like they're going to mark him about a half yard short. So 3rd and 1.
And it looks like they're sending in their heavy group right here, bringing in more offensive linemen, maybe an H-back.
And is that a huddle I see?
Yes, that's a huddle. That means they're getting ready to load up and try to get this 3rd and short right here. Under center at that.
Reed play action. Has all day to throw, taking a shot downfield and picked off. Underthrown, and Trey Fluellen with his 2nd interception on the season.
And big play, Trey Fluellen comes up with an amazing pick. Like you said, it was an underthrown ball, but as a defender, you really don't care. You just know I got to come up with the play, and that's what Trey did right here with the interception for MTSU.
Middle Tennessee's second takeaway this afternoon. This time it's Trey Fluellen picking off Austin Reed on the underthrown pass. And Jeremy, so many question marks on that 3rd down and 1 call and throw from Western Kentucky.
Yes, it was, and I get Coach Helton calling that play. You got two downs to get 1 yard. You're going to huddle up. You got the defense thinking, hey, we're bringing in the heavy crew, so we're going to run the ball. But I don't think it was a good decision by Austin Reed to throw the ball. Should have thrown it away or maybe even ran for the 1st down.
Here comes the blitz. Cunningham just gets rid of it. And coming off the edge, looked like Caleb Oliver.
And you can see right now, Coach Summers is dialing them up as well. He sees the opposing defense coming up with 2 turnovers, and he knows, hey, I'm a competitor as well, and we got to get a turnover ourselves.
Cunningham looking over the middle for Gathings. They're going to say incomplete, that it hit the turf, and Gathings is slow to get up. Let's take another look. Gathings took a shot from Rome Weber as he was trying to come down with that football. As Rick Stockstill will head out to check out the senior from Statesville, North Carolina, transfer from Gardner-Webb. And Gathings is up and will head towards the Blue Raider sideline under his own power, so that's good to see.
Yes, it is. And Gathings has great hands, pretty much catches everything that comes his way. That was a good throw by Chase right there, being able to drop it in front of the safety, but just over the head of the underneath zone defender that's carrying the number 2 receiver. So that was a great throw, even though it came up incomplete.
So now another 3rd and long for Middle Tennessee. 0 for 6 on 3rd downs. Here comes the pressure. And Cunningham stands strong in the pocket and finds Yusuf Ali for a pickup of 12, and good enough for a Blue Raider 1st down, their first 3rd down conversion this afternoon. Middle working quickly. The read play. Cunningham back over the middle and almost intercepted. Rome Weber couldn't get the clamp on it.
And those are plays that WKU is used to making. They cause turnovers just like MTSU defense last year. Both WKU and MTSU finishing 1st and 2nd in the nation and causing turnovers, and both are doing it at a high rate. And if you're Weber right there, you want to come up. You want to be able to get that play again to be able to hold on to that interception.
So 2nd down and 10. Rolling right is Cunningham towards the sideline, has a man. And that's going to be Jalen Lane, knocked out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Pick up about 5. Colossi was there to force him out. And another 3rd down for Middle. Can they pick up 2 on 1 drive? Here comes the pressure. Cunningham flushed off his back foot and throws it away. So the answer was no.
And that's the thing, Coach Summers dialing up pressure, which is causing Chase to have to make a decision. Either he's going to have to see it there, and if he doesn't see it, he's got to get rid of it, and that's what pressure does. And great job by Coach Summers and WKU to be able to come up with a stop to get the offense the ball back after that interception.
So Ulbrich out for his 7th punt of the 1st half for Middle. Line drive punt, end over end. Going to take a high bounce, and then a Middle Tennessee roll inside the 20 to about the 16-yard line. So another wonderful punt from the Ray Guy Award candidate, Kyle Ulbrich. as we're still tied at 7 here in Murfreesboro. Well, this has turned into an absolutely picturesque day here in the mid-state, the rolling hills of Middle Tennessee, with the foliage changing colors, and Floyd Stadium there in the foreground. And what has been a low-scoring affair, surprisingly low-scoring affair here today at Floyd Stadium, all tied up at 7 between these two rivals, both trying to get above 500. And Middle looking for their first Conference USA win on the season. Screen pass, far side to Hall, who's driven out of bounds after about 7.
And you're starting to see MTSU defenders starting to anticipate what's coming. See Stanley almost jumping it on the screen and catching it.
Reed DeCorley will be wrestled out of bounds on the far sideline by Jacoby Thomas, redshirt freshman from Tullahoma, Tennessee. Fourth catch in the afternoon for Corley. Had the touchdown at the beginning of this quarter to tie things up. And they go right back to that screen play on the far sideline. This time it's Jalen Hall, brought down by Drew Francis. And Western wanting to move quickly, and Jeremy, that's probably where they've been the most efficient today. Reed taking a long shot. Coming back for it is Davis. Got a hand on it, but good coverage downfield by Teldrick Ross.
Yes, amazing, awesome coverage by Teldrick Ross, running stride for stride with Daywood Davis right there once again, making the play. Not panicking when the ball is in the air, as you can see on the replay, being able to run in phase. He's in phase, turns around, makes a play on the ball. Great job by Teldrick Ross right there.
Reed now 14 of 25, 97 yards, a touchdown and an interception. He's in the top 5 of college football in completions per game, passing yards, passing touchdowns, and total offense. Having an off game here tonight. 3rd and short. Stepping up in the pocket, going to keep it himself. He has the first down and finally falls forward about the 47, 48 yard line. He does have some good wheels, doesn't use them all the time. That's the second time he's had to pick up a first down for Western. As they go right back to the screenplay on the far side to Corley, and he is pirouetted out of bounds by DeCorian Patterson.
And that's the thing about Austin Reed, is that we know that his arm is golden. He has a strong arm, but he's also mobile enough to be able to pick up first downs when he needs to, or when everything is covered on the defensive end. He's able to use his legs to be able to keep the drive going, as we've seen on the previous play.
Yeah, he's tied for the team lead in rushing touchdowns with 3 so far this season. As we approach 4 minutes to go before halftime. Second down and 6. Reed on the check down. And Robichaux will pick up a couple.
And WKU utilizes the motion a lot, like we talked about earlier, because that motion lets you know it's MTSU in man. If someone goes over with that motion, it signifies to Austin Reed they're in man. If they stay, then he knows, okay, we're in zone, and so he can keep that first play or the second, or switch to the second play based on who goes with the person or who stays.
Reed screen pass again, far side. And picking up the first down is Western Kentucky. This time it's Dalvin Smith getting his first reception on the night. Redshirt sophomore from Glasgow, Kentucky, brought down by Trey Fluellen. Reed stepping up in the pocket, over the middle, making the leaping catch is Jalen Hall. And Western Kentucky is back inside the red zone, and Jalen Hall is slow to get up.
And as you can see, Austin Reed has a lot of time back there, and he's just sifting through the coverage and finds an open receiver right there in Jalen Hall. Picking up another WKU first down. And this is what we talk about with the tempo. When you run that tempo, you don't allow MTSU defense to get set up. And then you see defensive backs that are confused back there, or two DBs on one receiver, which leaves an open receiver, like on that last play with Jalen Hall. And so you see the tempo being very, very effective for WKU on this drive.
So Jalen Hall is up, and a flag going against Middle Tennessee after the pickup of 25 on the pitch and catch from Reed to Hall. As we get a second look.
And it's good to see him be able to walk off the field, and that penalty was 12 men on the field, and that's a result of tempo, not being able to get your players off fast enough or subbed in enough time.
So Western trying to take the lead before halftime. 2:45 to go before the half. Robichaux up the middle, lowering his shoulder. Touchdown, Western Kentucky. Kai Robichaux.
And Robichaux runs in and shows his power, delivering a blow to the MTSU's defender before entering pay dirt. And though WKU is not known for their running game, they are getting timely runs when needed, and there's none run before that one that was more timely for them to be able to get, and allows them to take that lead.
So it's a 7-point lead after the Braden Narveson point after attempt, but a 14-yard run by Kai Robichaux, and I think my man used the Madden truck stick on that one. Third rushing touchdown on the season for Robichaux, as Western Kentucky has taken a touchdown lead with 2:39 to go before the half.
And as a running back, your coach, hey, you delivered the blow, and once you deliver that blow, you keep those legs churning, and that's what Kai Robichaux did right there, being able to get into pay dirt, and he has been very effective on the ground when he's given the ball. Coach Helton talked about, hey, we're not really focused on the run so much. We let the box, meaning how many defenders are in the box, determine if we run the ball, and Coach Helton been dialing it up and been effective in calling it.
Go. Middle Tennessee will take over before the half, but Jeremy, none of their drives have lasted longer than 2 minutes. What do you want to see out of Middle Tennessee on this next drive?
Well, I want to see them be able to put a drive together, and they need points because WKU gets the ball after half.
Jalen Lane from the goal line. We'll take it out to the 25-yard line where he has stood up, and that's where Middle Tennessee will take over with 2 minutes and 32 seconds left on the clock. But at the same time, Middle Tennessee also has to be aware of the clock and move with a little bit more expedient pace.
You're right, and it's that balance because you don't want to go so fast and then you give the ball back to WKU and you get a 3 and out, you give the ball right back to them, and now they can score and then they get the ball after half. But then you also have to go fast enough because you want to have enough time in these 2 minutes to get your own points. So
Frank Piesic up the middle, picking up the first down. His best run of the ball game. A little misdirection there from middle.
And with runs like that by Frank Piesic right there, it's going to help your offense out.
Cunningham to throw over the middle, back to Gathings, who's checked back in. And he will lunge forward to about the 44, 45-yard line.
And you can start to notice the play calling changing for Coach Summers and WKU defense. They're a little bit more softer, not really blitzing, trying to kind of go and prevent defense because you're playing against the clock as well.
Low snap, Cunningham looking for Peason out of the backfield, breaks a tackle, down the sideline, and giving the stiff arm to the defender, and that's Middle Tennessee's best offensive play of the afternoon.
And I love watching Frank Peason play. As you can see, he's a running back, but he has hands softer than a pillow, and he doesn't get tackled by the first guy, delivers a stiff arm right there, and gets out of bounds. So that's just checks all around for Frank Peason on that play right there.
So Middle Tennessee knocking on the door with 1:40 left. Cunningham, quick pass to Tolbert, who drops it after the 32-yard pickup from Frank Peason.
That kind of stifles your momentum, your tempo right there when you have a drop ball. Allows WKU to kind of gain their composure and set back up as a defense.
Cunningham to throw. Pump fake. Now he's going to tuck it and duck out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. And Jeremy, on this drive alone, Middle Tennessee has doubled their output in total yards for the first half.
And part of that is with the scheme. They have the clock working for them in the sense of the play calling that Coach Summers is doing. He's not sending pressure because he knows, hey, we don't want to give up a quick score. We're fighting against the clock.
3rd and 10, they're going to hand off to Irvin, but we're going to blow this play dead. That's the receiver, Gathings. So move Middle Tennessee back 5 yards with 1:25 to go before the break. Cunningham on 3rd down, looking over the middle, finds Peason inside the 20, and another flag is out. Now a bunch of flags are out.
Multiple flags on the play.
And now Peason is slow to get up. Looked like he might have been brought down by the face mask.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. As we check this.
So that's a big penalty going against Western Kentucky. And Jaquez Evans, as Frank Peason is still down on his back. So 1:14 to go. Middle Tennessee will have the ball on the 8-yard line. 1st and goal. And this has by far been the best drive on the afternoon for Middle Tennessee so far. 6 plays, 66 yards. And as we said before this drive, they haven't had a drive last longer than 2 minutes. As you see the face mask there from Evans. And Peason just fall a little awkwardly as he went to the turf. Looks like they're working on that right foot ankle area of Peason. And the training staff will help him to his feet and help him to the sideline.
And right now, if you're MTSU, you're kind of in a conundrum a little bit because you definitely want to end this drive with points. But you don't want to score too fast and leave enough time, which, you know, WKU only needs about 30 seconds to score, right? So you don't want to leave a lot of time for them, but you want to make sure you get points out of here on this drive.
1st and goal for Middle. 1:14 on the clock. Ball is loose, picked up by Irvin on the bad snap. And we've seen several low snaps this afternoon, but that one was costly, as Middle will be forced to take a timeout.
Loss on the play.
It just looks like it didn't get up high enough on the snap right there.
30 seconds. Clock operator, please. Reset
So
the
that's
game
Middle's
clock.
second
1:32
timeout.
seconds.
Just one remaining
1:02.
as that ball is moved back to the 16-yard line.
And see, when you have plays, negative plays like that, especially on first down, when maybe you're thinking, hey, we're going for a touchdown. Now you start to think maybe potentially more conservative and say, okay, 2nd and 16. Now we just really want to get out of here with at least 3 points. And then you have to use a timeout as well. So it kind of just changes potentially your whole philosophy due to an error on the snap right there.
So caught a loss of 8 yards. Still 2nd down and goal. And now Chase Cunningham is going to go with an empty backfield. Irvin in motion, the snap to Cunningham. Cunningham flushed and just going to throw towards that far sideline. Yusuf Ali was over there, but Cunningham was just trying to get rid of it, and that's going to bring up 3rd down.
And you see MTSU, just like WKU offense, utilizing that motion, allowing the motion to dictate or to tell them information. Once again, I send a person in motion. If the defense, somebody on the defense runs with them, we know they're in man. If not, then you know they're sitting in zone.
So 3rd down and goal. Behind the line, Tolbert going to throw back to Cunningham. Now Cunningham going to take it. And just got back to the line of scrimmage.
And though it doesn't seem like a great play, but that was a great job by Davion Poindexter right there, staying home on the trick play. The flow of the play went to the right, but being disciplined, staying home, and being able to keep MTSU to a no game on that play. So that was a very disciplined play by Davion Poindexter.
So that'll bring out Zeke Rankin for the field goal attempt. Has made 7 straight dating back to last season. And make it 8 as Middle Tennessee gets on the board for their 2nd score. But they still trail by 4 with Western Kentucky on top 14-10. As Zeke Rankin, the sophomore from Alcoa, Tennessee, knocks home the field goal. So 10 plays, 57 yards for Middle Tennessee results in the field goal. And Western Kentucky, as we've seen, Jeremy, can move the ball pretty quickly. 41 seconds, that's plenty of time for the Hilltoppers, especially with 3 timeouts.
It is, and for an offense like WKU, that's almost like 4 minutes, to be honest. And you see Coach Stock kind of shake his head, even though the field goal was good, because I believe Coach Stock knows, hey, touchdowns is going to win this game, not field goals. And when you get in the red zone, within the 10-yard line, he knows you have to score touchdowns, and you can't shoot yourself in the foot by a bad snap and then having to settle for a field goal. But nonetheless, they did get points, but touchdowns is what's going to win this game.
So Scott Payne is out to boot it away. And Matheson will take it from the 4. And doesn't even make it back to the 20. Good downfield coverage by the special teams unit for Middle. So 34 seconds and 3 timeouts to go for Western Kentucky.
And so now when you start to look at the time, just like we've seen Coach Summers and WKU defense get soft based off the time and the play calling. Now let's see if Coach Schaefer is still going to be aggressive and dial up the blitz, or is he going to play to the clock, knowing 34 seconds, you don't want to give up anything big right here. So we'll see. What's the philosophy by Coach Schaefer?
Single back look for Reed. And they're going to kill the play. And third penalty against Western. This one will set them back 5 yards. Same play. Just stick with it.
Got to stick with it.
Clock operator, please set the clock at 34 seconds. 34.
Yeah, every second counts.
And talking to Coach Helton this week, you know, he's saying that they send in 2 play calls with Austin Reed, so he has the option to switch to another play if he feels like he needs to.
Reed to throw. Looking over the middle and diving and making the catch is Michael Matheson.
And so it looks like Coach Schaefer is going zone here. And as you can see, 15 yards, 20 yards on the first play. Doesn't take much time.
Reed checking down for Robichaux after the pickup of 20. Throws it away. 21 seconds left. And again, Western was still 3 timeouts. And Braden Narveson, the kicker, career long of 53 right here on this field a couple of years ago. A lot of movement up front from both teams. Quindarius Dunnigan from middle, looked like he moved.
5-yard penalty. Second down.
But it's going against Wes Dorsey, who's getting the start at right tackle, as Gunnar Britton has moved over to left tackle to replace Mark Good. So the redshirt sophomore will move his team back 5 yards. Here comes the pressure. Reed in the pocket. Will throw it away. 16 seconds.
Pass is incomplete.
Looks like there's a Blue Raider shaken up after the play.
Third down.
Timeout for an injury.
So 15 seconds left. Western Kentucky still has 3 timeouts left. Trying to get to field goal range before the clock runs out. And trying to get their 4th straight win against Middle Tennessee as the injured Blue Raider is up on his feet. That's Diari McDonald, the safety from right here in Murfreesboro. But yeah, Abigail talked about it at the top of the broadcast, just how evenly played this rivalry has been for the last 71 and a half meetings. Each team has won 35 times, and then there was 1 tie. So 35, 35, and 1 is the series record between these 2 teams. Not bad for a rivalry. So 15 seconds left for Austin Reed. Now Robichaux going to be wrapped up behind the line. Quindarius Dunnigan. Back up defensive end. Excuse me, that's Zaylen Wood.
And that was an awesome play by Zaylen Wood, running down the play from the back. And that's high-level stuff, because as a defender, yes, you can play when the ball comes to your side, but to go to the next level, of your game is to be able to run a play down from the back, and that's what Zaylen Wood did. And on the previous play, you seen Coach Schaefer dial up pressure because he realizes, hey, it was only 15, 17 seconds left, so now this is the time I can dial up pressure because they don't have a lot of time left, and he was able to get home to basically and force Austin Reed to make a bad throw, and now he's forcing a punt right here. So I think that was a great job overall by MTSU's defense and Coach Schaefer in calling the plays.
So Tom Ellard will come out to punt for the 4th time here in the first half. The freshman from Melbourne, Australia. Jalen Lane back deep middle, brings pressure, high kick. Lane calls for the fair catch, and a shoestring catch by Jalen Lane at about the 28-yard line.
Jalen Lane shows off the hands right there. It is very difficult to catch any punt, and to catch it just with your hands at your feet shows off some skill right there. So are you taking a knee right here, Jake? Are you?
I'm all go all the time, Jeremy.
Okay. Hey, all gas, no brakes.
Figured you know that about me by now.
Yeah. I hear you, man.
That being said, I would probably take a knee. Handoff up the middle. Irvin breaks free for about 8, and that'll do it for Middle Tennessee and the first half for the 72nd chapter of 100 Miles of Hate. Western Kentucky will head to the break with a 4-point advantage, 14-10. And Jeremy, both offenses struggling to find their rhythm here in the first half. Middle Tennessee just 121 yards of total offense. Western started to find it a little bit there in the second quarter with a couple of touchdowns. And Abigail is with Rick Stockstill.
Coach Stockstill, we're going into the halftime right now. You were trailing, but I want to go back to the beginning of the game. Western Kentucky fumbles the football. Chase Cunningham, y'all recover it. Chase Cunningham runs for 14. First time that he's ever played against Western Kentucky. What's impressed you about him so far?
Scored a touchdown there, but that's about the only thing we've done offensively. We pretty much stunk it up the first half. We got to get a lot more consistent. We're shooting ourselves in the foot. We're stopping ourselves offensively. Proud of how our defense has played a lot better, kept the ball in front of us. But we got to get a lot better here in the second half offensively.
You talk about the offense. What is the key to getting those points on the board? What adjustments are we going to see?
Well, we got to start making some plays, but, we had 1st and 5 or 2nd and 5. We get a holding penalty. We got first down inside here. We get a bad snap. Now it's 2nd and goal from the 16. We're just shooting ourselves in the foot. We've had some miscommunication between the quarterback and the receiver on some certain routes. So it's just been everybody's done their part of not doing what they're supposed to be doing right now. We got to play a lot better.
Coach, thank you for your time, and we'll see you after the half. Back to you guys.
Clean it up. That's the message from Rick Stockstill at halftime to his team. And we'll be back with first half stats and highlights coming up after this. Western Kentucky on top of Middle Tennessee, 14-10 here at Floyd Stadium. Coach Tyson Helton has his Toppers on top of Middle Tennessee, 14-10. He has not lost in this series rivalry against Rick Stockstill, looking to find a way to come back and win this one for the first time in 3 tries against the Toppers, as Scott Payne is set to boot this one away as we are set to start the second half here at Floyd Stadium. A high, short kick going to be taken at the 5-yard line, and Matheson is going to be smacked at the 26. And let's send it down to Abigail Martin. Abigail, what you got for us?
Touchdown talking with Coach Helton coming back into before the half, and he had to say that the defense is stout. Offensively, they shot themselves in the foot, and you might remember that exact phrase because that's exactly what Coach Stockstill just said right before the half. So they're looking to change that. They've got the momentum, just holding MTSU to 10 points, made them go for the field goal instead of the touchdown. So we're going to have to see how this one plays out for the 100 Miles of Hate. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Abigail. Western will take over at the 26-yard line. Austin Reed, 19 of 32 in the first half, and that's going to be a long screen pass. It's going to pick up about 4 to Jalen Hall. DeCorian Patterson was there on the stop.
And DeCorian Patterson was looking for his 5th interception on the year, coming up close right there.
And they go right back to Corley on the screen pass. He's going to be close to a first down as Francis came sprinting in from that linebacker spot, and he's going to have the first down. So Western moving quickly, and we saw in the first half they operated at a higher level when they were working with some higher tempo, and they go right back to Corley on the same play. And this time Jacoby Thomas says not so fast.
And how you stifle this tempo is that you have to, if you're MTSU, you have to create a negative play or an incomplete pass because that settles the tempo down. But as long as they're getting completions, even though it may be a completion for 3 to 4 yards, it allows WKU to continue the tempo and maybe catch MTSU off guard.
Corley now with 7 catches for 44 yards and a touchdown. Read play. Robichaux near side, turning the corner and cutting back and finally being brought down at the 25-yard line. Kai Robichaux breaking off a big one, and he's slow to get up, grabbing that shoulder.
And Robichaux has been coming up with big runs all game long. He had the touchdown run earlier at the end of the first half, and now he comes up with a big play to open up this first half as he approaches 80 yards on the day.
So a pickup of 37 to Robichaux. As we take another look.
Great job following the pulling guard.
So longest run of the day for either team is from Robichaux, as here's Irvin Poindexter, and he's going to be wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage by Teldrick Ross, coming up to make the stop from his safety spot.
And I've been impressed with Teldrick Ross all day. He came up with the early fumble in the first quarter, made a play in the passing game as well, and now coming up out of his safety position, being able to come up with a great open field tackle.
Loss of 2, so second down and 12. Reed play. Reed checking down, finding the tight end. Belgian inside the 10, staying on his feet. Touchdown. Joey Belgian tiptoeing along the sideline and lowering the shoulder.
It appears they may have.
It's a first down, short of the goal line.
So the line judge raised his hands to signal a touchdown, but they're going to mark him down at the 1-yard line. So an almost touchdown for Belgian. Reed going to keep it himself, and he will break the plane, and that is a touchdown. So 4th rushing touchdown for Austin Reed this season. Leads the Hilltoppers in rushing touchdowns. And that is the opening drive that Western Kentucky was looking for.
You're right about that. And Austin Reed talked about it earlier this week that he loves to throw the ball, but he is 230 pounds and he should be able to pick up 1 yard. And that is exactly what he just did on that touchdown run on the QB draw for 1 yard for a touchdown. And that's the drive that Coach Helton and WKU wanted to have. Tempo, high tempo, scoring fast. And now here you go. You have a 21-10 lead early in the second half.
Seven plays, 73 yards on the opening drive of the second half, capped off by a 1-yard touchdown run from the quarterback, Austin Reed, but it was the big plays by Kai Robichaux and the tight end Joey Beljan of 26 and 37 yards that set up the Toppers for that opening drive score. And just some missed assignments on defense from Middle.
Some missed assignments, missed tackles as well. We talked about the play to the tight end where they ran a designed pick route with the the outside receiver, being able to pick off Trey Fluellen, causing the safety to have to go underneath, which put him behind on the tight end. And so just great play calling by Coach Helton and great execution by WKU's offense.
Munson boots this one away, and Jalen Lane will let it roll through the blue paint. And Middle will take over on the 25. And so now the question is, what does Middle Tennessee's offense have in store for this second half after just 130 yards of total offense in the first and 3.5 yards per play in the first two quarters?
And for MTSU, you have to be happy that you didn't get off to a slow start, but now you find yourself down 11 points, and now you have to chase points now. So we'll see if they're able to handle this pressure.
Cunningham going to keep it around the right side on the read play. Going to pick up the first down and pushed out of bounds by Halasi after a pickup of about 11. And no Frank Peasant in the lineup on this first drive for Middle as he was injured towards the beginning. In the first half, I should say. And Western's going to take a timeout.
And we talk about the second half keys.
This is their first 30-second timeout.
And that Middle had to have early down success. And as you can see, first down, they pick up a first down. And that allows you, one, your defense to stay on the sideline longer. And then it allows you to keep your whole entire playbook open and you don't become predictable. And you see that first down, first play, now Coach Summers calls a timeout, trying to come up with a game plan to try to prevent the success of MTSU's offense. So if MTSU can keep that type of style of play, those type of gains early in the downs, the early downs, I think that we can see them potentially make a comeback here.
Middle Tennessee trying to get back in the win column after dropping their last two ball games. After knocking off number 25 Miami on the road for the program's first win against a AP top 25 opponent. Cunningham on the draw. And he's going to pick up about 3 before Evans gives him a pop just shy of the 40.
So you're wondering if, because Frank Peason is out of the game, are they going to go to more design QB runs? You see QB runs on the last 2 plays.
Cunningham to throw. This one is behind Irvin. Like a little bit of a miscommunication on the routes there between Irvin and Lane. And here we go again with another 3rd and long for Middle.
And that's what Coach talked about at halftime, the miscommunication between the quarterback and receivers, that you shoot yourself in the foot, and now you're at a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, and now you have to drop back and throw, and WKU knows that.
Tolbert in motion. Here comes the blitz. Cunningham has to get rid of it, finds Ali, but he's going to be stood up and lose his helmet. That's Derek Smith, the linebacker, making the stop. A good open field tackle against the elusive Ali. Smith, another one of those transfers
And what a great open field. He dropped back in coverage, came up, squared him up, and brought him to the ground. And great job by Smith on that play, making an open field tackle.
Spent 3 years at Illinois. This is his first year at Western Kentucky as Middle's going forward on 4th down. Handoff to Irvin. First down as he's going to be stopped just shy of the 50. And so a big, big first down for Middle Tennessee on 4th down there. Now 10 of 18 on the year going for it on 4th.
And it was a gutsy call by Coach Stewart.
Yeah.
Running the ball on a 4th down, but they were able to execute and pick it up, though.
9th first down for Middle. Cunningham flush left, running out of time, just going to pitch it to Irvin, who makes a man miss, tiptoeing the sideline. And great improv from Chase Cunningham. Little Mahomes flip there, and Irvin was Johnny on the spot with it.
Yes, you got to love that about Cunningham, that the play is never dead and it's never over with him. He will always attempt to make the right play, and that's what he did right there.
And they go right back to Irvin, and he's going to be roped up by Derek Smith.
And Derek Smith, once again, making a great play right there from his linebacker spot, being able to, once again, chase the play down from the back, which shows athletic ability, shows speed as well to be able to do that as a defender.
2nd down and 8. 9th play of the drive for Middle. Handoff up the middle going nowhere. Will Ignat, the linebacker, making the stop, along with Lorenzo Hernandez breaking through the big defensive tackle for Western, making his 2nd consecutive start here tonight. Had a career-high 5 tackles last week in his first start against the Roadrunners. And now 3rd down for Middle. Just 1 of 10 on 3rd down here tonight. Cunningham in the pocket, looking for the sideline, and great defense on that sideline by Khalif Halassi, knocking it away from Jalen Lane.
And that was awesome coverage by Khalif Halassi right there in man-to-man coverage, being able to stay right there, not panic when the ball is in the air, and get that palm up. The inside hand, the outside hand was there on the offensive player just in case he missed. He would have been able to make the tackle there. It's a great play by Khalif.
4th and 7, Middle going forward again. Flag is out, and the throw to Yusuf Ali is complete. The ball is out and recovered by Western. So a lot happening on that play. First, we have to check the flag, as now Talik Allen is shaken up after the play. He's the Hilltopper that recovered the fumble, and the whistles were blowing as he was being tackled. And Allen is walking it off towards the sideline.
Personal foul, tripping, number 62, offense. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is an interception. First down, Western Kentucky.
We'll go ahead and call that a fumble. But Western Kentucky will take over with 8:36 to go, leading 21-10 here in 100 Miles of Hate. So the longest drive on the day for Middle Tennessee by about a minute and a half ends in a turnover. First there was a tripping call against Jordan Palmer, and then this fumble by Yusuf Ali being stripped and recovered by Talik Allen. Khalif Halassi has his fingerprints all over this game, ripped it away, from Yusuf Ali. And now Western Kentucky will take over in their own territory. And that first handoff to Irvin Poindexter is going to be driven back right from the jump. And Kinley, Richard Kinley in on the stop.
And this is where MTSU must force another turnover to give life to their offense to be able to keep this game in reach.
So 2nd down and 14 after the loss on the run from Irvin Poindexter. No Kai Robichaux after he went out with what looked like a shoulder injury on the first drive of this half. Far sideline throw, and that's going to be wrangled in by Dawood Davis.
In talking to Coach Gilstrap, the cornerback coach for MTSU, he was very impressed with Dawood Davis. He said, man, anytime WKU needs a play, he said that Dawood Davis is the guy. Coming from a great high school, too, Deerfield Beach High School. That's where I graduated from as well, so a little biased.
So that's why it's great.
Yeah.
3rd down and 4 for Western. Their own 28-yard line. Here comes the blitz. Reed thrown across the middle and at the feet of Michael Matheson. And pressure coming up the middle from that Blue Raider defense. Forced the throw from Reed. And a big 3-and-out from Middle Tennessee's defense as the clock is now definitely in Western Kentucky's favor. As Jalen Rayam coming right up the middle.
Coach Schaefer dialing up a blitz right there, dialing up pressure, being able to get his defense off the field and getting the ball back to their offense.
Punt from Ellard. Going to take a big Western Kentucky bounce well inside the 20 and be down at the 9-yard line. Heck of a punt from Tom Ellard, the Aussie, burying Middle Tennessee deep in their own territory.
And MTSU, you really want the shortest possible field that you can get, knowing that you're struggling on offense, struggling to pick up first downs, struggling on 3rd down conversions, and now they have to drive the entire length of the field to put the points on the board. We'll see if they can do it here.
So a season-long punt for Tom Ellard, 64 yards. Quick pass far sideline from Cunningham. Picks up a few as Jaden Hunter in on the stop.
And when you're in a position like that MTSU is right now, chasing points, now as the clock trickles down, the run game becomes obsolete.
Run near side from Irvin. Might have got one. And just like that, it's already 3rd down for Middle.
And one thing I have to credit Coach Summers and his defensive backs is that they're doing a great job at beating the stop block. Stop block is when the receiver's coming out to try to block the DB. They've been beating that block, shedding the block, and making the tackles on the ball carriers.
Empty set for Cunningham. Irvin in motion. Cunningham near side. Jalen Lane looking for space. He's going to pick up the 1st down. And just the 2nd 3rd down conversion for Middle Tennessee this afternoon. Now 2 of 12 on 3rd downs, but that was a big one right there. They go right back to Lane looking for a block on the outside. And there's a flag coming in for the face mask, so tack on another 15. As Jalen Lane got cross-faced on that one, and he will head to the sideline to...
Personal foul, face mask, number 24, defense. 15-yard penalty for the end of the run. Automatic, 1st down.
That's Derek Smith, the senior from Jacksonville, Florida. Good block on the outside by Gathings. And you can kind of see as Jalen Lane was running there, putting his hand up to his eyes. So they got him good, and he's going to be checked out by that training staff over on the Blue Raider sideline. Hopefully he's all right. but first down for Middle. Cunningham checking down, and Hunter with the stop as Terry Wilkins made the catch out of the backfield.
And talking to Chase Cunningham this week, he said that, hey, in the past 2 games, we've been able to move the ball. We've been able to have some success. We're just not finishing. So we'll see if MTSU can finish on this drive like they weren't able on the last drive.
Hand off to Wilkins on the read play, going to get popped after a pickup of about 5. That's A.J. Brathwaite Jr. coming up from his safety spot.
And A.J. Brathwaite coming in like a missile right there. Once you take that inside angle as a safety, you have it pinned in on the ball carrier, then you can unload like A.J. did right there on that play.
Here comes the blitz up the middle. Cunningham tossing it up, coming back for it. And no flag on the play as Cunningham was looking downfield for Elijah Metcalf. There was definitely contact, but no call. A lot of times we do see a flag on those underthrown passes, but not this time.
And Jaden Hunter coming in on the blitz untouched, forced Chase to have to rush the throw, which caused it to be an underthrown ball on that play.
4-man rush from Western. Cunningham pointing downfield and looking for Tinsley. And Tinsley takes a shot from Jaquez Evans. And that's going to bring up 4th down for Middle. (21-10) Western Kentucky on top of Middle Tennessee, and here's the look at the contact downfield on the last drive that ended in a turnover on downs. Back-to-back drives ending on turnovers on downs for Middle Tennessee. And now Western Kentucky will have the ball on their own 47-yard line, so great positioning for Austin Reed. 24 of 38 today, 205 yards, 1 TD, 1 pick. On the rollout, on first down, looking downfield, going to lob it downfield. He's got Corley, and Corley will take it inside the 10.
And I hope we get a replay on that, because I believe Corley ran a nice double move right there to be able to get open. As you see Austin Reed rolling to the right, and Corley ran a double move, and at the end you see him catching the ball wide open.
Hand off to Irvin Poindexter, getting close to the goal line, but going to be stopped just short. Pick up a 47 on the pass and catch from Reed to Corley. And the big plays for Western Kentucky have been hurting the Blue Raider defense here in the second half.
Yes, in this second half, Austin and the offense have been in rhythm.
Reed, now the quarterback keeper, not going to get there. Trey Fluellen in there making the stop with a host of other Blue Raiders.
And Austin decided to go into center right there, which they rarely do.
And every time they have, it's been a quarterback keeper, except for the interception earlier.
For sure.
But now it's 3rd and goal from the 1.5. Irvin Poindexter in the backfield.
One-on-one down here below.
Reed, the keeper, not gonna get there. Quindarius Dunnigan was there to finish him off. And now it's 4th and goal for Western Kentucky. As we take another look, great push up front by Big Blue. And Dunnigan, the redshirt sophomore from Chattanooga, getting in there to make the stop And now Western Kentucky will take their second timeout to talk over this 4th and goal play. And Jeremy, at this point, you've got to take the field goal, right? Knowing that Middle Tennessee's struggling so mightily to move the ball on offense.
Ideally, you definitely think that, hey, we go up 14 points. I think we're safe to say we probably can finish this game off with MTSU struggling, but you still give them a chance. But if you get this touchdown here, not only do you get more points on the board, but you can suck the air out of MTSU right here by punching it in if you're Austin Reed and WKU's offense. But if you're able to get a stop, if you're empty, now you rejuvenate your team and maybe get some momentum, though you'll have to have 99-yard drive, though.
So Western Kentucky will line up to go for it on 4th and goal as Middle makes a late substitution as Jacoby Thomas checks in. And Irvin Poindexter is in the backfield as Austin Reed will go under center. Beljan in motion. Play action. Reed. Touchdown. Joshua Simon hauls in his 3rd touchdown catch of the season. And now Western Kentucky is in full control of this ball game.
You're right about that. Great play call by Coach Helton right there. They knew that MTSU was stacking the line, stacking the box, so they called a play action pass and had the receiver, Joshua Simon, sneaking out into the back of the end zone for a touchdown.
Narveson drills the extra point, and Western Kentucky is on top 28-10 with 2:04 to go in the 3rd. And a beautiful play call from offensive coordinator Ben Arbuckle. 2 years ago, he was offensive coordinator at Seminole High School in Texas. So made quite the leap from coaching high school ball to running one of the most prolific offenses in college football the last couple of years. And now Tyson Helton and the Toppers are in control of this one, up 18. And Abigail has an update on Middle running back Frank Peason.
He was holding no weight on his right foot, walked off with crutches. I was told he has a lower body injury and unsure if he was going to be able to return to this game. So we're going to have to keep an eye out, and I'll give you any further update that I get. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Abigail. That's a big loss for Middle Tennessee, and there's no Jalen Lane returning that kick. That's Yusuf Ali, as Jalen Lane caught a finger to the eye earlier, so hopefully we'll see him back out on the field for Middle. That'd be Middle's 2 biggest playmakers, arguably, on their offense out of the lineup right now, trailing by 18.
And when you talk about getting poked in the eye, a lot of people wear visors for the looks, for the aesthetics, but it also can protect you from certain injuries.
Here's the flea flicker. Cunningham drops it. Still going to throw it up. And bat it away, throwing it into double coverage. Halasi was there, and now Gathings is slow to get up again. And that play was sloppy from the jump.
And as we look right here, the flea flicker went bad, like you say, from the drop snap. And I think right there you got to just go ahead and take it because you're throwing it in coverage. But great job by Gathings being able to turn into a DB in the middle of the play and ensure that MTSU will be able to run another play by preventing WKU from coming up with an interception.
Yeah, and it looked like Cunningham had an alleyway right up the middle there as the training staff is checking on Isaiah Gathings on the Blue Raiders sideline. Took a hard fall after that pass fell to the turf.
And I think that's what happens when you're chasing points, meaning you fall behind big by 2 to 3 scores you're not playing the game, you're trying to make the play. And so as you can see, Gathings double coverage, as we can see him getting up. That's a good sign right there. Gathling's double covered, and Cunningham can just go ahead and eat it. And like you said, go ahead and run it up the middle. But you're thinking, hey, we're behind by multiple scores. I got to take this shot here. And so that's what you can see when you fall behind and you've been struggling on offense all game. You can start to force things.
So Middle going 4 wide on 2nd down and 10. Short route from Yusuf Ali, and a late flag coming in from the secondary after the pickup of 4. Derek Smith then on the stop. Interesting, that flag came from all the way on the other side of the field.
Of the 24, defense. 50-yard penalty for the end of the run. Automatic, first down.
That's the 2nd face mask penalty against Derek Smith. And that'll give Middle a first down and better field position.
And see, MTSU has been getting these breaks. They had a face mask on the last drive, but they have to finish the drives.
Cunningham on the keeper around the left side, going to turn it upfield, breaking a tackle and picking up a first down. So we thought we were going to see more Cunningham running the ball here in the second half, and that's what we've gotten so far here in the third quarter.
Yes, a lot of design QB runs to be able to supplement for the absence of Frank Peason not being in the game.
So call it 2nd and 1. I guess he stepped out before the line to gain, but Irvin out of the backfield will take the catch and pick up the first down.
Pass is complete to number 21.
And one thing I'm impressed with as a former defensive back is the physicality that WKU's defensive backs play with. They're sure tacklers. They're not missing tackles. And when they come, they let you know that they're there.
Irvin around the left side trying to use the stiff arm. But Smith there to wrap him up. No gain. As we are now under a minute left in the third quarter. Middle Tennessee trying to get a touchdown here on this drive.
On the carry.
Back-to-back drives with turnover on downs here in the third quarter. Here comes the blitz. Cunningham lofting it over the middle and almost intercepted by Talik Allen. Just hit the turf before he was able to get there. Cunningham had to get rid of it as the pressure was coming. But nobody was home except for Allen.
And as you see the pressure coming off the edge, this is when receivers have to let Cunningham know, hey, pressure, you're going to be pressured, or Cunningham has to observe the right side of the field so he's not pressured that way to be forced into a rush throw. But fortunately for MTSU, it was incomplete.
3rd down and 10. Irvin, right side. And called a pickup of 1, maybe. That's actually Terry Wilkins on the carry.
And I think Coach Summers sees something in how he can potentially exploit MTSU. He's sending double pressure off of the edge, or he's having the DN stun inside, or by sending, and then he sends the outside linebacker there, even on that play right there. And he's having success when sending pressure.
Interesting play call on 3rd and 10.
That's the end of the third quarter.
Yes, I would have to say.
So 4th quarter coming up here on 100 Miles of Hate. Western Kentucky on top, 28-10. After 7 punts in the first half, Kyle Olbrook out to punt for the first time today in the second half, as that is a beauty, and Western Kentucky will start this drive, the first drive of the 4th quarter, at their own 4-yard line with an 18-point lead, 28-10 against Middle. So, Jeremy, we've talked all afternoon about how quick moving these offenses are, how they don't burn a whole lot of clock. Now, with an 18-point lead, think Western Kentucky's going to start running that football?
Definitely not. I don't think it's in their DNA. I think Coach Helton keeps the foot on the gas, all gas, no brakes, and I don't think anything's going to change right now. You have a big lead right now, but that's just what they do. It's just they go fast all the time.
124 yards on the ground as a unit for Western Kentucky. First play, handoff to Irvin Poindexter. He'll cut it back across to about the 12-yard line, pickup of 7. So good run from Davion Irvin Poindexter, the transfer from IU from Maryville, Indiana.
So I was wrong. They did come out with a run, but now they're empty. So is it going to be a QB draw or a quick screen?
2nd and 4. Quick screen. Corley, far side, and not a lot doing as Trey Fluellen was right there.
Pass is complete to number 11, Corley. Number 9, Jordan Ferguson on the tackle.
So it'd be interesting to see what Coach Helton decides to do, and this would kind of let you know the mentality on, do they feel like, hey, we're in a good spot, we got the game sold up, or hey, let's get a little bit more cushion on the scoreboard, depending on, you know, how they call this play.
So 3rd down for Reed and company. Reed to throw. Quick pass, far side. Simon has the 1st down.
And those out routes have been there all afternoon long. The quick little speed outs by the receivers or tight ends. And Austin Reed has been connecting, and he was connected there for that 3rd down conversion.
Western now just 4 of 12 on 1st down. Just 6 3rd down conversions on 25 attempts between these two teams as Irvin Poindexter tries to bring it to the outside, but Decorian Patterson will escort him to the sideline. Pickup of about 4.
Tackle made by 33 Patterson.
And like you mentioned, WKU having well over 100 yards on the ground as a team. I think when you are not a run-featured team and you have rushed over, you know, almost 130 yards, you have to be impressed. You have to like your balance as a play caller and what that means moving forward as an offense.
Yeah, they average about 140 yards on the ground per game, 5th best in the conference. Reed has a man close to the 1st down. It's Michael Matheson, transfer from Akron. One of those 40 transfers on this Western Kentucky roster, and he's got enough for the 1st down.
And the transfer portal has changed the game and the landscape in college football, as you see all over the country.
Yeah, and if you ask Coach Helton, he says for the better for him. Here comes a blitz. That ball is batted down. Jordan Ferguson got a mitt on it.
Number 9, Jordan Ferguson brings up 2nd down.
And that's a great play by Jordan Ferguson, being able to get pressure, realizing, hey, I won't get there in time for a sack. As you see on the replay, gets in, but it gets his palm up to be able to effect the throw, as you see on the replay. Great job by Jordan Ferguson.
And neither quarterback has been sacked here today. Second and 10. Matheson near side. Looking for a little bit of room, and will spin out of bounds about the 30-yard line. But yeah, both quarterbacks have done a pretty good job of getting rid of the football, oftentimes into traffic, but getting rid of it nonetheless. But surprising, because, you know, Middle Tennessee has done such a good job of attacking opposing quarterbacks this year, leading the conference in sacks with 19.
And Coach Helton was concerned about that when we talked to him earlier this week. He said that, hey, many teams can get pressure schematically by dialing up pressure, but MTSU can get pressure just with their front four. And so they were able to game plan and be able to prevent Austin Reed from being sacked so far today.
3rd and 7. Here comes pressure. Reed finds a man, and it's Corley, and that's going to be enough for a 1st down. Pickup of 9 on 3rd and 7. And move the chains again for Western Kentucky. And as soon as the chains get set, start moving that clock.
And right now, Western is just really running stick routes, 3rd and 5, receivers running to the sticks and turn around. So as a defensive back, MTSU has to realize down in distance, hey, you're down by multiple scores. You have to be aggressive. Take a chance to try to get an interception or come up with a pass breakup to get WKU off the field.
Screen pass, far side. Dalvin Smith has a couple players getting tied up over on that far sideline. Smith and McDonald from Middle Tennessee. Started out a little chippy earlier in the first quarter, but things kind of cooled off between these two teams as the game wore on. Tempers flaring a little bit on that far sideline.
Yeah, that was a great job by the refs being able to get in and separate that, because normally when things like that happen on a sideline, it could get ugly. And so that was a great job by the refs.
Screen pass on the far sidelines, but DeCorian Patterson was right there all over Jalen Hall. And so now it's 3rd and 7.
And DeCorian Patterson has been having a great season. He's 1st in Conference USA with 4 interceptions and 3rd in the nation. So right there, very smart play, realizing, hey, they're going screen after screen. I'm going to tighten up my coverage. And the moment that my receiver goes back, I'm going to stick to him like glue and potentially try to get an interception. But he was able to get a pass breakup right there. So great, heady, and smart play. Veteran play by DeCorian Patterson.
So 3rd down and 7. Reed, quarterback draw. Diving forward, and that's going to be close. And again, it looks like he's going to be about 1.5 yards short. That's the 2nd time that we've seen Reed call his own number on the draw play, but then come up short when he's had room to get the 1st down.
And the turf monster is real for Austin Reed today. Like you said, a couple runs where no one is there and just the turf trips him up. And that one, he fell short of the 1st down.
Reed on the option, going to toss it back to Moses and throws it out of bounds on 4th down. So Middle Tennessee will take over with great field position with 9:52 to go in the 4th quarter.
Take it back to the very beginning of the game. Honorary captain Colton Sheets. It's his 9th time serving as with the position. He's been with this team for quite some time. Back when Brent Stockstill was actually quarterback of this team, and of course now back on the coaching role. They've only lost 1 time with him. He says he's the good luck charm, of course, and that loss was back in 2017. He expects for this game to wrap back around, and MTSU is going to come back for the victory. Back to you guys.
1st down and 10 for Middle Tennessee on the Western Kentucky 44 after the turnover on downs, and flags are out. And it's going to be a false start against Middle.
False start, number 74, offense, 5-yard penalty.
That's Ethan Ellis. So back up Middle 5 yards, the 49. And Jeremy, this feels like a do or die drive for Middle Tennessee's offense.
You must get points right here and a touchdown.
Screen pass picked off right into the hands of Darius Thomas. A pick 6. And that is a backbreaker.
And we talk about when you are blitzing and you're not going to get there in time to get the sack, get your hands up. And so when we say get your hands up, this time Darius Thomas says, I'm going to get my hands up and I'm going to catch the ball and I'm going to run it back for a pick 6. And great play by Darius Thomas on that play, extending WKU's lead over MTSU.
The freshman from Miramar, Florida, with his first career interception, and he takes it back to the house.
That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
From the 9-5-4,
This is number 12,
South Florida. That was an awesome play right there. And you said true freshman, so that might be the first play you put on the highlight tape to open it up right there.
So Narveson out to tack on one more. And he does. 35-10 here in the fourth quarter, and Western Kentucky is running away with this one. The freshmen taking it back to the house as the Toppers are on top by 25. Big shout out to our Media Arts production crew bringing you this ball game here tonight. And all season long, they work so hard to put these broadcasts together. These are students, folks, doing this and doing a darn good job. So thanks to our Media Arts production squad putting together another fine broadcast for you on ESPN+. So after the 49-yard pick six by Darius Thomas, Middle Tennessee will get the ball back with 9:44 to go, as Ali will take it backpedaling, trying to find a seam, and will finally be brought down just shy of the 40-yard line.
That was a good return by Yusuf Ali right there. And like you said on the last kick return, Jalen Lane's still not out there. And so if you're MTSU, you definitely want to get him back after the bye week, after being poked in the eye on his last reception.
So Chase Cunningham back out on the field after throwing the interception. Toss left, Irvin. Nowhere to go, but stays on his feet. And is brought down by a handful of Toppers.
Number 21, Joe Irvin on the carry. Bradshaw on the stop. Second down 6.
So Western Kentucky just 9 minutes away from winning their fourth straight in this rivalry series, as another flag is out and Cunningham will scamper out of bounds. And looks like another
holding, number 21, offense. 10-yard penalty for the previous spot. Repeat, second down.
That's Joe Irvin. And the look on Rick Stockstill's face kind of says it all for how it's gone for Middle Tennessee today. As you see Joe Irvin getting a little bit too much shoulder pad of Terrion Thompson. Second and 17, and that play didn't work.
And as you see the pressure coming in, it looks like Chase Hand got stuck in there as well.
Aaron Key, the linebacker, came roaring through that line and blew that play up from the jump.
And that's the thing about Coach Summers. It doesn't matter what the score is. His MO is to attack, and that's what his defense is still doing right now, attacking.
Here comes the pressure. Cunningham flushed, going to toss it up. And looking for Jalen Lane. Nice to see him back out on the field. But to no avail on 3rd and long, and now Kyle Olbrich will come back out.
And we talked about the keys to the second half is having success in early downs, and so you had a 2nd and 5, then you get a penalty, then it pushes you further back to where you can't even get any more positive yards. And that's what Coach Stock is talking about week after week, is that, hey, they have to finish drives, they're moving, and then they shoot themselves in the foot by getting a penalty.
9th punt from Olbrich. This one going to bounce into the hands of Hall, and he will dance out of bounds with 8:01 to go in the fourth quarter, as Kyle Holbrook now has more than 400 yards in punting here tonight. Western cruising to another win against Middle. 8 minutes left here at the fourth. Making the trip down from Bowling Green, approximately 100 miles away from Murfreesboro, as Lightning trying to keep spirits up for the home crowd. Hometown team trailing by 25, 35-10, as Western Kentucky trying to hang on for their 4th straight win in the series and trying to get back into the win column after dropping their last 2. And what would be a big game, not only for bowl eligibility, but for Conference USA standings for both of these teams. But Western Kentucky found themselves in this same position last year, losing a close one to UTSA, and then rattled off 7 wins in a row before eventually losing to the Roadrunners again in the conference championship game. But that game was a turning point for them in the regular season last year, and it very well could be again this year. Moses slicing through the defense and gives up the ball. Ball is loose. And Middle comes away with it.
And one thing about this Blue Raider defense, they won't give up. And Coach Schaefer preaches and teaches attack the ball. And they're, once again, forcing another turnover, averaging 2 turnovers a game, and coming up with another fumble recovery right there. So phenomenal job by the defense, still keeping the team in a shot or having a chance potentially to be able to make up ground on this lead right here.
You said a 3rd turnover on the night for Western Kentucky. The problem is for Middle, they've only been able to turn those 3 turnovers into 7 points. And that was way back in the first quarter after the first play of the game. A fumble by Kai Robichaux that Middle Tennessee turned into a 14-yard touchdown run on their second drive, as Jalen Lane back in the ball game picks up about 3 as we get another look on the fumble from Jakari Moses.
Looked like that was caused by Jacoby Thomas right there, getting his head on the ball.
Cunningham running out of time, scrambling back and forth across his body, has a man, and getting popped while making the catch is Terry Wilkins. And laying the lumber on that one was Virgil Marshall, one of what feels like a dozen defensive backs for Western Kentucky, as this quick pass is going to be caught by Andrew Page on the near sideline. And Middle Tennessee's in the red zone.
Andrew Page. Evans on the tackle.
3rd red zone trip tonight for Middle. Quick pass far side. Jalen Lane looking for a seam to the outside. He'll take this inside the 10 to about the 6 or 7 yard line.
Jalen Lane is just so electric. Like, he can make a 5-yard game feel so exciting because he just has that little spark. And so if you're MTSU, you want to get Jalen Lane the ball more and more, because you know great things happen when the ball is in his hands.
Another flag is out.
False start, number 79, offense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Another penalty going against this front line for Middle Tennessee.
And it's almost like no matter how much success MTSU experiences, you start to think that at one point on that drive, they're going to shoot themselves in the foot. And that's what Coach Stock talked about at halftime.
Irvin around the right side on 1st and goal from the 13. Not a whole lot doing, maybe a pickup of 2. But all 7 penalties tonight, I believe all 7 have come from the offensive line going against Middle.
And that's something that I know Coach Stock will focus on during this bye week, is making sure you don't get those penalties.
Cunningham to throw, looking to the back of the end zone. Gathings couldn't get a hand on it. That ball went pretty high out of the back of the end zone.
Incomplete. Intended for number 2.
So now 3rd and goal from the 12-yard line for Middle. Irvin, the man in motion. Cunningham sets his feet, fires across the middle to Gathings. Cunningham threading the needle for his first touchdown pass tonight, finding Isaiah Gathings for his first touchdown catch of the season.
And we've watched MTSU and called multiple games, and one thing I can say about Gathings is that he has Velcro on those hands, kind of Chris Carter-ish. Anything that comes in his proximity, he's able to make that catch, and he did right there for a touchdown. And nice throw by Chase Cunningham.
And Rankin will add the extra points. And Middle gets on the board here in the 4th quarter on a 7-play, 38-yard drive, capped off by the 11-yard touchdown pass and catch to Isaiah Gathings. An absolutely beautiful evening here in the mid-state as the sun is starting to set behind the rolling hills here in Rutherford County, as the hometown team struggling at home against their arch rival Western Kentucky on top of Middle Tennessee 35-17. Middle getting in the end zone on that last drive for the first time, Jeremy, since their 2nd drive of the game.
Off of a turnover caused by their defense, and that has been the formula.
Onside kick. Ball is out of bounds. Dalvin Smith tried to catch it on a big hop. Flag is down as Yusuf Ali will limp over to the sidelines. What if we get an illegal touching call?
I wonder if it was a offside.
Offside, number 89, kicking team. 5-yard penalty will be added. It will be added to the dead ball spot. First down, Western Kentucky.
So first down for Western in Middle Territory. 5:07 left to go in this ball game.
First down and 10 for the Hilltoppers at the 43-yard line.
Western Kentucky looking to get above 500, pick up their 4th win on the season before they take on UAB next week, as Irvin Poindexter slicing through the front 7, falling forward for a pickup of about 5. But that should be a game to watch next week after UAB put a hurting on this Middle Tennessee squad last weekend in Birmingham. And Western will actually be home for the next couple of ball games as they welcome North Texas to Bowling Green as well. So a couple of really, really big games for the Toppers on their own home turf coming up. Irving Poindexter falling forward just shy of the first down.
The gives to number 2, Irvin Poindexter.
After these next 2 games, if WKU is successful and wins those 2 games, they can find themselves right in 2nd place, right in position to get back to that conference championship game, because right now North Texas is undefeated in the conference, and UAB has 1 loss. So
it's third down.
WKU would take that head-to-head, and in both cases, and being able to only have 1 loss. So this game was important for them, and those next 2 are very important.
3rd and short. Yeah, and they finished the season with 3 of their last 4 on the road. Irvin Poindexter rolling forward, and I think he's got the first down.
Irvin Poindexter.
This just might be the most consecutive runs we will see out of Coach Helton in his WKU offense.
They're going to mark him short. 4th and a 1/3 of a yard. Surprised we're not seeing Austin Reed under center. There we go. And Reed, with the help of his tight end, Joey Beljan, should have the first down. As you said, 6'2", 230. That's tough to tackle.
16, Austin Reed on the quarterback sneak.
Yep, and that's what he was talking about this week,
Gain
that
is
he
good.
doesn't look to run, but he knows that if his number is dialed, if it's called, or if the opportunity presents itself, that he's equipped both mentally and physically and willing to pick up those short yard plays. And he's been successful this game.
Under 3 minutes as the clock continues to run. Irvin Poindexter stays on his feet as a flag is out.
The give is to number 2.
About the
Davion Irvin
34-yard line.
Flew Ellen on the stop. Flag on the play.
Personal foul, number 35, defense. 15-yard penalty from the illegal run. Automatic first down.
That's Jalen Davis, the linebacker. So move Western Kentucky 15 yards closer to the end zone.
Correction, is number 91 on the face mask.
Okay, apologies to Jalen Davis. Parker Hughes, the linebacker, called for the flag. As we approach 2.5 minutes left in this one. Irvin Poindexter slipped out of one tackle, falls forward for a couple.
Number 2, Davion Irvin Poindexter.
So, Jeremy, if you're Middle Tennessee, you're off next week. But then the schedule, I think, kind of plays out in your favor. I think the goal is always to go to a bowl game. You're already sitting halfway there with 3 wins, but if you look at the rest of the schedule for Middle, I definitely see games that they can win on the road at UTEP and La Tech after the off week. But then your next 2 home games against Charlotte and FAU, with the regular season finale at FIU.
I think coming into each season, obviously Coach Stock wants to win the conference, but then you have to deal with whatever reality is. And so at this point, in a minute and 35, you have 3 conference losses probably out of the championship contention. And so now you have to turn your sights towards, okay, we want to make it to a bowl game. And I think, like you said, just laid it out. The schedule is very favorable for them, but they still have to fix some things, still have to be able to execute on offense and be able to capitalize on their opportunistic defense and the turnovers that they're causing, because turnovers don't mean anything if you don't score any points.
Yeah, less than 4 yards per play here tonight against Western Kentucky, as Reed will take it and get popped on the option. Kind of an old school option look. We've seen that a couple of times tonight from Western Kentucky.
It takes me back to NCAA on the video game when you had that triple option. You had to press that R1, R2
That's right, yeah,
for the pitch. So
hold X to give it to your fullback in the I formation.
Yeah. You could tell we were raised in the 90s. But if you Coach Helton, though, you don't want to see Austin Reed taking shots like that at this point of the game. But speaking to Austin Reed's size and physicality and physical ability, he's able to get right back up.
Western content to let the clock roll as
timeout, Western Kentucky. This is their 3rd and final timeout.
They take their final timeout with 49 seconds left. And Jeremy, as we reach the end of this one, Tyson Helton and his top squad with a nice rebound win here tonight after losing 2 in a row.
How you respond after a loss says a lot about you, says a lot about your mentality, and just can you have the ability to persevere through tough times. And I asked Coach Helton, did he feel pressure? And he said, hey, I'm not a rah-rah guy.
Right.
I'm not going to get in front of my team giving all these speeches. He said that the most important thing is, hey, we all about being consistent, and then we have a great, healthy culture. And as a result, our players are intrinsically motivated, and they know what's on the line. And their performance today says it all, that they knew, hey, we have to come in, we have to not allow the last 2 games to define us, but come out here and put our best foot forward and then put ourselves in position to potentially get back to the conference championship.
And one of the things that I took away in talking with Tyson Helton this week is how laid back he is, but he talked about the trust that is in that locker room. You know, we talked about how there's always so many new faces the last couple of years with this Western Kentucky team, but he says that the guys in the locker room trust him and his staff to bring in not only good players, but the right players, as that 4th down run comes up short for Irvin Poindexter. But he said there was no panic after they've lost their last couple of games. They lost to 2 good teams, and all 3 of their losses have been by a combined 13 points. So it's not like they're getting run out of the building in these losses. They're in every ball game. And he talked about that when he mentioned going for it on 4th down against UTSA. Is like, hey, sometimes you got to take risks, but there was no panic at all. There was no talk about, oh, we have to win this game against Middle. Of course, you want to win this game, and you have to win it because it's your rival. But that wasn't their mindset coming into this game.
You're right, and he had that quiet confidence, and he talked about the parity in the conference, that anybody could beat anybody. So
check down to the running back out of the backfield. That's Terry Wilkins getting a lot of room here in the second half.
Terry Wilkins.
Yeah, and he talked about how anybody can beat anybody. So just because they had one loss, he knows that, okay, UAB can upset a UTSA.
There's Gathings across the middle, and he'll be brought down at the 50. Nice strike from Cunningham.
And one thing I got out of
Cunningham's
the
pass is
conversation
complete
is
to number 2.
He's not scared.
Isaiah Gathings.
He talked about how there are great quarterbacks on every level, and
Game is good.
Timeout. Fitness first down to Tennessee State. It's their first of the half. 30 seconds.
Yeah, he talked about that when he talked about Austin Reed saying, you know, elite quarterbacks want to be coached by elite coaches, and he thinks that they've got that kind of staff at Western Kentucky. That's why they get the Bailey Zappies and the Austin Reeds. He said this multiple times, no stone unturned when it comes to recruiting.
No, for sure. And I heard Mike Tomlin say over the summer over on the Pivot podcast is that coaches just want the best players. Most coaches, so they don't have to coach. And if they're not the best player, then they want to get rid of them. But coaches coach, and that's what Coach said, that he said, hey, I've been brought in to coach. I get paid to coach, so I have no problem bringing players in, diving in the roughs like Austin Reed and coaching them up.
Cunningham to throw, 20 seconds left. Check down to Wilkins. And he'll be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. And that will likely be the last play of this one.
Complete to number 39, Terry Wilkins.
One more. Cunningham running out of time. And the first sack of the night, first sack of the game, is on the final play of the night. And that is how Western Kentucky wins their 600th game in program history, knocking off their arch rival on the road 35-17, as Tyson Helton's Toppers are back above 500 with their 4th win on the season, as Middle Tennessee will drop to 3-4 and 0-3 in Conference USA play. And Jeremy, you and I talked about it at halftime about what team was going to come out and respond.
Fans, thank you for attending
Western
today's
Kentucky
game. Your final
made it known
score
real quick that it was going to be the Toppers.
You're right, and you said, hey, I got a feeling that WKU is going to come out and show you that why they have the #1 offense in the conference, and that's what they did. Austin Reed making plays all over the field with his arm, with his legs, really showing who they really are and why they're the #1 ranked offense in Conference USA.
And Abigail is with the winning coach, Tyson Helton.
Hey everybody, down here on the field, Coach Helton coming off of the victory, 600th program victory. How does it feel taking it here for 100 miles of hate?
Well, we celebrate all wins. It wasn't pretty by any means, but you know, it's good to get the win and get another conference win, which is really big. And so we just, you know, we got some things we got to clean up, got to fix, but just happy for our guys in the rivalry game to get that win.
It was an interesting start. Western Kentucky, you had the fumble, and then MTSU was later able to convert. What was it going into the halftime that you were able to get a response out of this team?
Well, you know, I thought offensively we were just kind of dragging around. We were shooting ourselves in the foot, you know. Defense was playing great, you know, doing a great job. And I told them, I said, listen, we got to play a complete game as one team. Right now we're playing half a team. So we went back to the drawing board, and they were able to put some good drives together.
A lot of adjustments, and you're getting that well-rounded team that you're so used to seeing. You're back in the win column. What are you doing tonight to celebrate this victory, but really what's next on the board?
Well, I'll go home and watch a football game, but we got a short week. We got UAB on a Friday, so we got to start game planning tomorrow for them.
Coach, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on the victory, and have a safe trip home.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Abigail, and congratulations to Tyson Helton and the Toppers. They are above 500, win number 4 for the Toppers, win number 600 all-time for the program as we take a look at our final stats between these two teams tonight. And Jeremy, we talked about it all night. Middle Tennessee struggling to find a rhythm offensively.
Yes, and you see, unable to get 70 yards, not even 100 yards of rushing, which then puts pressure on your passing game. And then the passing game really comes because you're chasing points. So is it a lot of empty calories, empty stats here, and MTSU just really has to find a way to establish a run game.
And Western Kentucky's offense in the second half really kicked it into gear. 21 points in the second half for the Toppers. And Austin Reed finishing the night 32 of 49, 278 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns through the air and 1 on the ground. As the Toppers walk out of Murfreesboro with a 35-17 win over Middle Tennessee. For Jeremy Kellum and Abigail Martin and our entire media arts production crew, I'm Jake Rose saying so long from Floyd Stadium, where the final score tonight is Western 35, Middle 17. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN from Murfreesboro. So long, everybody.